The Magic Ring. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, lived an old woman and her cheerful son, Martin. His father had been a skilled hunter, but when he passed away, Martin and his mother were left with almost nothing but 200 coins. They were sad, but they knew life must go on. After a week, their food ran out. Martin's mother handed him 100 coins and said, "Go to the city, buy some bread, ask the neighbors for a cart and a horse." Martin did as she asked. On the way, he saw a group of butchers beating a dog tied to a post. "Hey, what did this poor dog do?" Martin cried. "He ruined a whole side of beef," one butcher shouted. "Then sell him to me instead." "Fine, 100 coins," the butcher said, laughing. Without hesitation, Martin paid up. The dog wagged his tail, grateful to be saved. Martin named him Buddy. When he returned home, his mother was furious. "You spent everything on a dog?" "He's my first piece of good luck," Martin replied. The next day, she gave him the last 100 coins. "No nonsense this time. Get food." Martin went back to the city. There he saw a boy dragging a cat tied with string. "Where are you taking that cat?" "He stole a pie. I'm going to drown him." "Sell him to me instead." "Sure, 100 coins." Martin didn't blink. He handed over the money, rescued the cat, and named him Whiskers. His mother kicked him out. "Go find work and feed yourself." Martin left with Buddy and Whiskers trailing behind. Soon he met a priest who offered him a job for 3 years with no promise of payment, only a surprise reward. 3 years later, the priest gave Martin a choice between 2 sacks. One filled with silver, the other with sand. "The silver's too easy," Martin thought. "Let's see what this sand is all about." He chose the sand. In the woods, Martin found a glowing fire, and in the center, a beautiful girl. "Martin, son of a widow," she said, "if you want true happiness, pour your sand into this fire." He did. The fire vanished, and the girl transformed into a snake. She wrapped herself around his neck and whispered, "Don't be afraid. Go to the underground kingdom. My father rules there. He'll offer you gold, jewels, anything you want. Refuse them. Ask only for the ring on his pinky." Martin traveled far and found the snake's father, the underground king. He offered treasures, but Martin asked only for the pinky ring. "This ring," the king said, "is powerful. If you move it from hand to hand, 12 helpers will appear to grant any wish. But never tell anyone." Martin returned home, reunited with his mother, and used the ring to create a life of comfort. Eventually, Martin decided to marry. He sent his mother to propose to the princess. The king was outraged, but gave Martin an impossible task: build a crystal bridge to the palace, golden apple trees on both sides, singing birds, and a 5-domed cathedral, all in one night. At midnight, Martin turned the ring. 12 identical helpers appeared. "Build it all by sunrise," he commanded. By morning, everything was complete. Even the king was stunned. The princess was married to Martin, but she wasn't happy. "He's no prince," she thought. She tricked Martin into revealing the secret of the ring. That night, she stole it, used it to undo everything, and vanished to the distant mouse kingdom. Martin awoke in a shack, alone. He was arrested and sealed in a stone tower with no food or water. Buddy the dog and Whiskers the cat sprang into action. Whiskers scolded the lazy dog. Buddy barked at the loafing cat. Then they worked together, stealing bread to keep Martin alive. Once he was strong enough, they journeyed far, crossed a sea, and entered the mouse kingdom, full of mice and no humans. Whiskers hunted dozens of mice. The Mouse King begged for peace. "Bring us the princess's magic ring," said Buddy. A clever mouse retrieved it from under her pillow. Ring in paw, Buddy and Whiskers ran back, but crossing the sea, a crow attacked. Whiskers dropped the ring into the water. Ashamed, they caught crabs on the shore. The Crab King asked what they needed. "The ring," they said. A tiny crab had seen a sturgeon swallow it. The crabs found the fish, forced it onto shore. Whiskers clawed open its belly and grabbed the ring. Whiskers tried to take all the credit, but Buddy chased him up a tree. After 3 days of hunger, they made peace and returned home. Martin, nearly dead, got the ring back. At midnight, he summoned the helpers. "Rebuild everything. Bring my wife back." The next morning, the palace stood tall, the bridge sparkled, and the king saw it all through his spyglass. Furious, he demanded an explanation. Martin told him everything. The king banished the princess, and Martin lived on in peace with his mother, his magic ring, and his 2 faithful friends. The end. Thanks for listening to Hubaver Stories.